After 25 years living with fibromyalgia and helping over 1,400 people find real relief, I uncovered something. There are exactly 3 things that separate people who stay stuck from those who finally take back control. And the third one, it completely changed how I handle flares. I'm about to share my complete 3-part system that gave me my life back. So grab some paper and a pen, because this isn't about quick fixes or miracle cures. This is about building real self-awareness, the kind that actually moves you forward to better days with fibro. So if you're ready, let's get started. So let's start with something that sounds almost too basic, but don't skip this, because it's the foundation that keeps everything else from falling apart. When we're unwell, we often stop doing the very things that used to keep us okay. Maybe you skip meals, or you forget to take your medication, or you give up on your morning routine. Maybe you sit alone and don't talk to anybody all day. So daily maintenance is about asking yourself, what's the minimum routine I need each day to have my needs met? So a question is going to pop up on the screen now, and that's what you need to write down on a sheet of paper. Now, for me, daily maintenance includes things like taking my medication on time and in the right way, so usually with food, drinking lemon water first thing in the morning. I found that helpful as a routine. Doing a few stretches, I do that every day to get that stiffness out my system. Going for a short walk if I'm able to, and connecting with someone, so talking to my husband or my son, and if we're apart, maybe just talking on the phone. And I know for me, I need to have at least 2 meals per day, and they need to be gluten-free and dairy-free for my health. So your list might be completely different, but writing it down makes it real. Keep it somewhere visible and challenge yourself. Stick to it for 7 days and see how you feel. Think of this as your non-negotiable daily list. It protects your basics, prevents small slips from turning into setbacks, and gives your body the consistency it needs to stay on track. But here's where things get really interesting, because the next step is the one that started turning my bad days around, almost by accident. This one was life-changing for me. I literally sat down and wrote a list of everything that lifts my mood, shifts my energy, or just makes me feel good. Again, the question that you need to ask yourself is on the screen now. And these wellness tools could be small things or big things. So for me, some examples are listening to music. I keep playlists for calming and uplifting moods. Watching a favorite film or TV show. Going for a coffee with a friend. Someone who I feel safe with. Spending 10 minutes in the garden when my head feels foggy. Doing some art or colouring or a jigsaw puzzle, because that's just pure fun. Talking to a friend who really listens and you feel safe with. Even something simple like a hug. And I love getting my hair done, because I always feel good after that, a bit of a pamper. So at first, when I did this, I wrote the list and put it away. Didn't think about it again. But within weeks, I literally found myself naturally doing those things again. Almost like my subconscious had taken it on board and nudged me towards them. And here's the thing, these aren't about curing fibro. Believe it or not, your body is on your side. It wants to survive, and it wants to be as healthy as it can. Steps like this can remind your brain and your body of what helps and what a good life looks like. They're about making your day feel lighter, giving you moments of joy, and reminding yourself that you are still you. And if you're finding these tips helpful and want more real-life strategies from someone who actually gets fibromyalgia, make sure you hit subscribe and tap the bell. I share new videos every week, all focused on practical relief, not just theory. You deserve steady, better days, and I'd love to help you get there. Now, the third step is a real game changer, but it's also the one most people skip, and I'll explain why you absolutely shouldn't. This step can really make a difference to your balance and help reduce flares. However, if you're feeling really stressed, depressed, or in a particularly low mood right now, put this one on hold until you feel more steady. This step is about looking at your triggers and getting really honest with yourself. Take them one at a time and start noticing what actually sets off my flares. So the true prompts for this question on the screen now. So the first part is identifying your triggers, and the second part is asking yourself what you can do about them. Again, for me, some examples I can give you are social events, noise, travel, listening to people. These things can all leave me drained. So I take breaks when I'm out, I take my earbuds with me, and I make sure I'm free the next day so I can recover. I can't drink caffeine, I've noticed, after 4 p.m. because it ruins my sleep. So I make sure that I don't, and I've got decaf coffee so that I can still have a warm drink late in the evening if I want one. Criticism is a big trigger for me, and although I managed to get rid of a lot of triggers, this is still one. When someone's words cut deep, my stress spikes and then symptoms follow. Sometimes I speak up, other times I step back from that person for a while. Jump scares, like somebody coming through a door suddenly, unexpectedly, or a jump scare in the movie. I've noticed that they can really spike my heart rate, so I use 4-7-8 breathing to bring it down quickly before it spirals and my nervous system flares up. The key isn't about avoiding life, it's about spotting patterns and then asking, what can I do to reduce the impact? Sometimes just recognizing a trigger can make it less powerful. Small adjustments and planning can take the sting out of the things that trigger your symptoms. So there you've got your 3 steps, but here's the part most people miss, actually putting them into practice. It's fine watching a video, but you need to actually do this to make a change in your life, and you are worth making a change for. So right now, I'd like you to pause the video and just write down one thing for each of these categories: the daily maintenance, one thing that you know you need to do every day to keep yourself well, one thing under wellness tools, something you enjoy doing, and one trigger that you might have noticed, and then come back. So that's my 3-part wellness system: daily maintenance, wellness tools, and trigger awareness. Simple steps, but powerful when you actually live them. These are part of my larger 8-step wellness program, and I've delivered that for over 15 years with groups. But even these 3 on their own can make you feel steadier and more in control and a little bit more like yourself again. If this video has been useful for you, please hit the like and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until then, take care of yourself and be well.